Hello Pisces, welcome to Lotus Heart Tarot. I'm really excited to have you here. We are going to dive right into your reading. Your reading is going to be a little bit different today. I feel very guided to go this direction, so we'll see what happens, right? I never know when I pick get guided toward a different kind of message. All right, let's see, Spirit. What messages are in Pisces, highest and best good? For Pisces, please, Spirit. For Pisces. Guys, you have been super quiet and so good all morning. Hey. Hey. Come here. Guys, come on. Come on. You gotta be kidding me. All right, so you're starting off here with regret and gratitude. You know, I am really getting, especially with this like frame inside a frame and this almost like evil eye energy kind of in its own way. There is, you know, sometimes God's greatest gifts are his unanswered prayers. You know that Garth Brooks song? I'm going to put this like this. And that's what I'm getting here. Honestly, I feel like, you know, there are people that you have left behind or that, you know, what I'm getting is like they didn't show up, they didn't take a chance, they were not brave, and they may be sitting in a real space of regret. But I feel like Pisces, you're sitting in a space of gratitude. Like, you know, you keep getting this energy of ending a cycle and starting a new one. And when that happens, it oftentimes will throw us off. It will oftentimes make us feel like, oh, it's not going to happen, because the space of transition between old and new, we lose friends. We suddenly can't relate to spaces that were once really important to us because we're up leveling. And what the other aspect of it is that we've put all this energy into manifesting it, into bringing it around, and energetically it's coming, but it doesn't materialize in the material world right away. It takes a minute. You got to stick with it, and you got to continue to believe in it. And you know, the highest, the best way, okay, I'll say, to raise your frequency is gratitude. And this gratitude card, it's giving me gratitude for all the things that have worked out and that will be revealed to you soon, and gratitude for all the things that didn't work out, and that you weren't a frequential match to that, and you aren't a frequential match to that, and that you have really risen. And when you rise, or you are rising, and yeah, I've gotten so many signs and synchronicities around this message that you keep getting, Pisces, including this, which, you know, take it as it resonates. But this channel, fewer people are watching the videos, which that's how it happens. Like, that's what happens when you start going deep like this and you start, you know, having these kinds of conversations. Not everybody's going to hang out in that space. You know what I mean? Not everybody wants that. Not everybody's looking for that. I don't do anything intentionally. I literally just go with the flow. I open myself up. I literally, the first candle I light when I sit down at my table is, Spirit, please help me to be a clear channel of your divine light and wisdom. And so I am open to whatever comes or whatever comes out. And, you know, there, of course, a lot of people watch tarot just to get like the message they came for and to read the cards, and that's it. And this isn't that channel. And I have no draw to be that. I have, been more like that in the past. Of course, I was guided to that. You know, so that it is what it is on whatever day it is, you know. But I will tell you, people are watching the videos for a lot longer, and a higher percentage of people who see the videos are watching them, are clicking on them. And so even though the viewership is going down, I make the same amount of money, you know, which is the only reason I'm offering that is because that is kind of the measuring stick that we sort of use as a society, as to whether or not it's good or bad, right? And I feel like there is a core group on this channel, and some of you are people who comment every day, but some of you just show up every day. And both are insanely valuable to me, that come and watch these videos. And that says to me, when you watch for that long and you show up that consistently, it's resonating with you. There's a message here for you. And so because the viewership has gotten smaller and smaller, it feels like those of you who are left, those of you who are here, this is your message, you know, like this is your space, like it's your energy I'm connecting to, you know what I'm saying? So, anyway, it feels like you are on the precipice of, you know, the universe sort of surprising you with something really amazing, or a beautiful period of time. Like you're in the transition, ready to hit the beginning of it. Now, the one thing that is always true with general readings is you're all on different timelines. So some of you are closer to it, some of you may already have begun it, and some of you may be a little bit, you know, like still coming into that energy, still closing out the past cycle. But wherever you are, this is a wonderful place to be. This is really beautiful. And I keep getting this message. I can literally hear Michael Singer's voice saying, relax, relax. Don't get anxious. Don't try to control it. Don't try to figure it out. Just go with the flow and relax and trust and let it reveal itself. Let it unfold for you. That's what I get. So take that as it resonates. I am definitely not here to tell you how to live your life, but that's the message I get. All right, let's dive into the tarot. I'm going to do a 9-card spread, and then I'm just going to read it. We're going to sit with it. We're going to read it. We're going to clarify whatever we want to clarify. And yeah, so let's see what happens. You know, when you rise, when you are in that energy of rising, people really realize how badly they messed up. Wow. Oh my gosh. Okay. I just always like for you guys to be able to see the cards because you're intuitive on your own, and some of these cards may give you messages. People know that they've lost you. And also people may end up having to see and watch your life raise up. And you know, this can also be energetically where people who may not have access to see your life anymore are going to feel it energetically. You are starting off with the Devil card. You have a relationship, and that is the central focus of what is happening here, okay? And this could be, you know, someone that you're already talking to. And again, it could be someone you have not met yet. You have the moon right next to it. So for some of you, it has not been revealed. This person is unknown to you. Let's clarify the Devil. It's coming out by the Star card. And wow, and the Star card and the Ace of Cups. Okay, so, you know, this is like that it's kind of like the decision, the choice we make, us with us, that we are not going to be stuck anymore. We're not going to be tied down to things that don't serve our highest purpose. We're determined to experience something different. We're not going to let our past dictate our future anymore. And, this is a tough, it sounds, when it's that few of words and it's that simplistic of an idea, it sounds just honky-dory. Like, okay, I wake up today and you know what? I'm not gonna let my past dictate my future. Period. I made that choice. There it is. But the thing is, we are really complicated and complex creatures, and we have a subconscious, right? And our subconscious really does dictate a lot of the decisions we make. We also have, things that we tell ourselves, and we also have beliefs about what is possible and what isn't based on our experiences in life. That's just part of living. That's just part of life. And, if you kind of study us, right, as energetic beings, we're spiritual beings, we're physical beings, and we're energetic beings. And the energy is like, it's all important. Nothing's more important than the other, really. But energy determines so much of the content of our experience. You could be very physically limited and still have an incredible, spiritual relationship, and still, like spiritual experience, and still have a really high energetic experience. Even if, honestly, what's coming to my mind right here is an NDE, and I haven't thought about this in relation to what I'm saying, so just roll with me there, but it's giving me a bit like you could be in a vegetative state, you could be physically unconscious and not in your body and have an incredible spiritual experience and an incredible energetic experience. And so, I don't know why I'm going off on that tangent, except to say that we're really not limited. We have so much available to us, but energetically, we are really affected by our thoughts and by what we tell ourselves. And it affects us emotionally, and it affects our energetic body. And whenever I see a 5 of anything, and you have 2 here, this 5 of Swords and this 5 of Cups, although I think this 5 of Cups is more relational to people who you are leaving behind as you step into this new stage than it is of you. But you do have 2 5s. So this can be like blockages, and the blockages, right, hold us back. And with it being the 5 of Swords, really, that we're talking about in relationship to the devil, it is what we're telling ourselves. And it is that kind of mental gymnastics energy, and that, and it is almost kind of feeling defeated, or feelings of defeat that creep in and kind of steal our higher vibrational energy. The thing that I'm getting here with the Ace of Cups and the Star card is that what happens, or at least this is my experience, so I don't know how it will happen for you, or how you experience it, or how you would describe it, but for me, which is all I can tell you, is that I would make progress. So how do you know you're making progress? So what is progress when you are going through this experience? Progress looks a lot like I am faced with the same stimulus that in the past I have reacted to, and instead of reacting, I am calm. Reacting kind of indicates a bit of a disorganized internal system in your body where you're not really in charge. Your pain is in charge, your wound is in charge, your fear is in charge, your ego is in charge, you know what I'm saying? And energetically, you feel that in other people, and you can feel it in yourself. So, what happens is we kind of want to think, okay, I've overcome this. I'm never going to react that way again because now I know it. Now I'm seeing it. Now I'm not doing that anymore. I made the decision. I made the choice. I'm not doing that anymore. I've changed that. But we're human, and we have been wired to react for a long period of time. And so we may still react from time to time. The thing is, what changes sometimes is that you begin to see that you are aware of it and that it doesn't feel right to you anymore. It's not in resonation with you. And you're not sitting there trying to judge it. But hopefully you also don't go critical on yourself. But you recognize it and you go, okay, I recognize this right away. And you may recognize small ways where you were better, where you did something right, which you can then sort of celebrate. I don't know why this is so hard for me to say. The thing is, every time you have that introspection and that reflection and you have that experience, this energy, what I'm seeing with the Ace of Cups and the Star card is you become more determined to heal. You become more determined not to let those lower vibrational things hold you down or keep you stuck or determine your experience in this life forever, for the duration. You continuously say, okay, I'll take the small wins, I'll take the loss, and I will try to do better next time, or I'll be determined to do better next time. Or next time I recognize a feeling that happens before I do that. And when I start to feel that feeling, I'll step away and I'll take a breath. And all that stuff is really good in theory. And eventually it will work for you. I feel pretty sure. But you may make mistakes, or I don't really think we make mistakes. I think it's just a process of learning, but sometimes it can feel like a mistake. With the Five of Swords, there is this kind of energy of I fucked up, or it's a sense of defeat, or it's a sense of suffering as a result of possibly something we've said or done, or the way we may have handled a situation. But it really, if you're paying attention and you're plugged in, you will start to really get in touch with yourself. You will know yourself, and you will get to know yourself, and you will see it happening before it happens. You will stop yourself, and you will choose a different path. And you may start choosing the right path, or the path that you want to choose. There is no right or wrong, in my opinion. But there is optimal, an optimal path, right? Which is our highest and best, and is, it's like convergence of your mind and your heart. What you think, what you say, and what you do are all in alignment. That's organized. That's calm. That's not disorganized reactionary. That is an organized thought, an organized plan, an organized way of being. And when you become that kind of energy, people feel it when you walk in a room. People don't fuck with you. They don't. People used to fuck with me all the time, everyone. And I even have like this neighbor who just picks on everyone in our neighborhood. And he's got a problem with someone all the time. And he has a problem with me. He like comes after me. And it just like, he's just ridiculous. And I just completely ignore him. I do say a little prayer for him because I do feel sorry for him because that's got to be a miserable experience. And, you know, I want love and joy for everyone. But I don't react. I'm not going to let him get to me. But there was a day and age where I definitely would have reacted. I definitely would have been like, I'm in the right, you're in the wrong, you know, because I am. He gets mad about our dogs, and our dogs they're not ever outside without being on a leash, but he gets upset if they go to the bathroom in our own yard and we don't pick it up immediately. He will flip out. He's come at me with his lawnmower. He has like this riding lawnmower. He comes at me. He will stand in his like pull lanai doorway and lean against it and just stare at me while I'm taking my dogs out. Like, he's nuts. Like, I don't, you know, I don't want to call him nuts. Like, that's not very nice. But, you know, he wants to control our entire neighborhood. We have a neighbor across the street who parks his truck in the street. And this guy is like, you can't park your truck in the street because it makes it too hard for me to get out of my driveway. Well, there's no rule against parking your truck in the street. There's also no rule about your dog using the restroom in your own yard. You know, and we have a pretty strict HOA. And the only person, ironically, that breaks the HOA constantly and is in violation of the HOA in like 3 ways right now is him. It's just insane. But he's got a problem with everyone on the street. And that stuff used to really bother me. It used to really get to me. And now it just doesn't even bother me. And he gets all reared up and he'll come at me, you know, every once in a while. But we like literally, we have a lawn service. You guys know because you can hear it. And, you know, so it's not like there's a bunch of stuff in our yard. Like, you know, it's taken care of on a regular basis. I just don't know. Anyway, you know, I'm not going to even try to make him happy. You know, I'm not even going to try to, I just ignore him. But the thing is here, what I'm saying is every time I have an interaction with him now, I actually thank him. I don't thank him to his face, but I thank him as I walk away because it is just another time and another time and another time that I get to practice being detached and non-reactionary to what he's trying to do and the energy he's trying to bring into my life. And the fact he's basically trying to get me to emotionally process for him, his own anger. And I just don't do it. Which just honestly makes him even angrier. And so he doesn't get the payoff. So he's probably just going to go somewhere else, to be quite honest, to do it. But the thing is, what I'm trying to say is, it is something that you practice and that you develop over time. And it's not to say that I don't react in certain ways sometimes that I'm like, oh man, you know, I wish I hadn't said that, or I wish I hadn't done that. But for the most part, I feel like I try to live in my authenticity so that whatever response I have is kind of my authentic self. That's a dangerous slope because a lot of times, you know, we will just say, well, that's just the way I am, and let ourselves off the hook. And that's not helpful. It may be the way you are right now, but is that the way you want to be? How's it working out for you? You know, is that really working out for you? Because if it's not, you absolutely have the power to change it. You can absolutely change it. We aren't so much anything. Like, change is the number one thing in the universe. You know, everything is perpetually changing, including us. Anyway, with the Star card and the Ace of Cups, this is a lot of self-love and a lot of healing. And that is what it takes, you know, pouring that energy and focusing that energy on ourselves. And when we do that, that brings about a new beginning. It brings about a new opportunity. And it is one that is born really of love, of the energy of you know, well-being, and it is just much more in alignment with our authentic self. And with the Star card here, this is deep healing. You know, this is really meaningful healing. And you know, with the Devil energy, that is pretty low vibrational. That is like a low frequency, low vibe type of energy. Just the shift mentally from that low vibe, stuck, it's not in my control, it's just the way I am, I can't do anything about it, you know, I got to deal with these people, like whatever it is. That switch from the Devil to the Star card energy, that change takes you from a scarcity mindset to an energy of hope and optimism. And you know, not only is that a good space for you, but people around you are typically pretty attracted to people who are hopeful and optimistic, unless they want to be miserable. If they want to be miserable, then they're not going to be attracted to that, and they may even resent it. But guess what? You don't want to be around them because they're low vibrational, and energy affects energy, and that low vibrational energy is going to pull you down. It's going to keep you stuck. So there's a reason why the separation happens and things change, and people that used to resonate with us, situations that used to resonate with us, things that resonated with us no longer resonate with us. And it is because, and a lot of times, like, we'll feel like, oh my God, my life is falling apart, or this has been a really hard year, or this has been a hard series of months and years. And we kind of almost kind of can start to go, is there really hope for anything to be different? Yes, there is. There always is hope. As long as you are living and breathing, there is hope. But the thing is, oftentimes when everything falls apart, you're right there. It's about to happen for you. It's a sign frequently associated with this type of up-leveling, that your whole life sort of falls apart in a pretty big way, and then boom, it shoots you up. And with the Star card and the Ace of Cups here, that is a pretty profound shift. And just to like really emphasize the Star card, let me see this. I wasn't going to clarify all of these unless I felt like it, but look at that. You got the Ace of Swords and the Eight of Wands and the Magician. You also have the Ace of Swords on the bottom of the deck. You see how many cards there are here? See what I'm saying about my channel and the viewers going down, but the watch time going up? Like, the key indicating factors, if the messages are resonating, are going up, even though the viewership is going down. That is telling me, it's like almost if I were going to say, okay, here's what it looks like when you attract your soul tribe. That's what it looks like in numbers and analytics on my YouTube channel right now. It is like, here are all the people that belong with you. You know, it's not this like random general population of YouTube. It's like, here are this is your group. This is the people, you know? It's pretty incredible. I was like talking to my husband about it last night. I was like, it's really wild. But I feel like it's just tightening up and tightening up and tightening up, and in a great way. And the thing is, you have the Ace of Swords and the Ace of Swords, the Star card and the Star card. And remember, we keep having this experience where we keep getting these repeat energies. And whenever that happens, it is showing me, you know, the alignment is really taking place here. You know, we're really coming into alignment with this energy. And the energy is getting closer and closer to the material world, you know, to actually manifesting in the material world. And with the alchemist, you are alchemizing it. You are doing it for yourself here. You are the one in charge. You are the one transmuting what once was lower vibrational, stuck energy and kind of a self-defeating mindset, or a mindset of you know, kind of the die is cast into, wait a second, I am an unlimited being. See that infinity symbol? And I have all the tools at my disposal. I can use all of them. I can make them all work for me. And with the magician, you see how his arms are like this, and he's got the wand here, and his fingers are actually pointing down into reality. Excuse me, I was painting, and I'm just realizing that I paint all over myself. I thought I washed it off, but apparently. He's bringing what he desires. He is the conduit himself. He's literally making it happen. He's saying, this is what I desire, and he's pulling it into reality. Like, you know what sometimes this reminds me of? You know when you have the 8-ball left on the pool table, and somebody says, 8-ball corner pocket. You know, you have to call the pocket, right? That's what this always reminds me of. And then he like shoots it in the pocket, and it's game over. You know, he won. You know, that's this energy. Man, underneath it is the Lovers. You got the 2 cups, you got the Star card, and you got the Ace of Cups. Like Pisces, holy crap. Like there's a lot of soulmate energy. I have the goosebumps. So you have the sun, the Star card, sorry. I keep feeling the sun, but the sun isn't out. So I'm not sure why I'm feeling that so hardcore. You do have the moon, but the sun card is being clarified by the Ace of Swords and the 8 of Wands. This is when you get this clear mind and you have the mentality of victory and success, and everything is always working out for me, and hope and optimism, and you're believing. You are suddenly moving forward without obstacle. Like nothing can stop you, nothing can get in your way, because you, no matter what obstacle you would face potentially, which you usually don't face any when you have the 8 of Wands, but if you did, you're facing it with hope and optimism. You're not looking at it like it's an obstacle and like it's something that's probably gonna, you know, stop you or clog you up or prevent you from getting where you're going. You're looking at it as an opportunity to learn something. You know, to even exercise this new sharp mental acumen that you have developed, you know, by basically defeating your own devil, you know? Okay. Man, Pisces, you got the 7 of Cups with the 6 of Cups. I'm sorry. You have the 7 of Cups dancing, basically. I call this dancing. These energies are related. Clarifying with the Knight of Wands, did I say that? Clarifying the 6 of Cups. So in your past relationships, you may have dealt with situations where, you know, this can actually be a lot of things, but it can be someone who comes on really strong, kind of love bombs you, and then ends up leaving you extremely confused. You're like, wait, what happened there? And you spend a lot of time trying to figure it out, trying to work through trying to understand what just happened right there. It can also be an energy where you're dealing with people who are basically emotionally unavailable and are basically trying to live life in a kind of a superficial way. And maybe they treat you a bit like an option, or you're never exactly sure where you stand with them. You know that they are kind of coming towards you, so you're taking that to mean that they want you, or they want the same thing you want, or whatever, but then it sort of implodes or explodes. And again, you're sort of left in this space of, well, was it something I said? Was it something I did? Was it me? You know, where you have to sort through a lot of mystery and try to, our mind doesn't like things that we don't know for sure, you know. And even if you have someone sitting in front of you and they're like, it's not you, it's me, and they want you to just accept that, a lot, you know, there's too much left unsaid there, you know. So we'll walk away from them and we'll be like, okay, so it's you, it's not me, but what does that mean? You know, what did I put too much pressure on the situation too fast? Did I want too much? Did you ever feel anything for me? Was that just my imagination? You know, kind of no matter what, when we deal with people like this, the Knight of Wands dancing with the Seven of Cups and the Nine of Wands here, the Nine of Wands and the Knight of Wands coming out together is incredibly hard to say. It's like a tongue twister. So it can also be where communication is really hard, just in a very basic way. You can't really understand what someone's, are you saying the Nine of Wands or are you saying the Knight of Wands? You know, it's like, it's like circular talk where I'm never totally sure what the end result of our conversation is even. And that can be because someone doesn't, you know, with the Knight of Wands, it's like someone who's always following their desire. And it's kind of like, as long as I'm desiring this, I'm here. And right now I desire it. If you're going to ask me questions about next week or next month, I might not be able to answer those because I don't know if I'll still want to be here or not. You see what I'm saying? So I'm going to talk in circles and riddles and I'm not going to be clear. And you're going to ask me, do I want to go to this wedding with you? And I'm going to say, well, I do, but, or, you know, well, maybe we'll have to wait till it gets closer to see. And it's always like this open-ended. You can't nail the person down. With the Nine of Wands, you could be dealing with people who are wounded or who are very guarded. They are still... I don't know why I got this, but hot-blooded. They're still, you know, they're still desirous. They still have wants. They still have needs or whatever, but they've just been hurt so many times that they're so guarded that basically all you can get from them is, this is what I want, this is what I need, like right now, and the rest of me is kind of off limits. You know, you're not going to crack that code. You're not going to get beyond a certain point. And it can be really tricky to deal with people like this because oftentimes, you know, you fall for them or who you think they are, and you see the potential of what could be behind all those wands, and you know, you hope that love will be enough to move them past that point, but they're the gatekeeper. They're the one that says, you know, you're just seeing a lot of things so clearly now, and you know, really mentally, you have become so sharp, and the way you're seeing things and the way you're talking to yourself is leading to your ultimate success here, it feels like. You're having some breakthroughs here. Even if you don't necessarily realize that you're having them, like you don't feel different, or, you know, maybe sometimes you feel different, but then you also have days where you feel worse. It's happening. You know, it's happening. Your mindset is shifting. You can definitely, you know, whenever the energy is like this for me, when I'm reading for myself personally in tarot, I realize that the energy is moving in a particular direction. And if it's a direction that I really want to go in, I can work with it. Especially with that Magician that came out earlier, you can work with the energy to kind of maximize its impact by really being mindful of, you know, what you are thinking, how you are feeling, and kind of avoiding things that are going to take you into like a negative place, and really kind of doubling down on the things that make you feel good. You know, we always have those people that you're like, watch this video, like it's life-changing, it's really amazing, or whatever. And then the next time you talk to them, you're like, did you watch the video? And they're like, oh no man, I got really busy and I couldn't, and blah blah blah. You know, there's the difference between someone that actually works with the energy and makes something happen, and someone who kind of stays stuck or sort of has very marginal gains, is someone who actually does it, you know? Oh, I wanted to tell you guys. So, yesterday I posted a video on my book channel, Book Lotus. Is that what it's called? Yeah, Book Lotus. And I had recorded this video in July when I was going to start my book channel. And I tried to record a video yesterday, and I just couldn't. I couldn't make it happen. Like, my dogs were barking, and then the timing got off, and then I had a phone call I had to make, and I mean, it was like, and so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna watch the video that I recorded this summer. So I watched it, and I was looking at myself and my energy, and I was like, man, it doesn't even really feel like me. And then I watched the one I recorded like 2 days ago, and I was like, yeah, that's me. That feels like me. And I realized that I woke up in the middle of the night, and you know what thought came to me? Is that I actually didn't even want to post it. Something made me post it. Intuitively, I was like, no, you need to post this. So I did. And I was like, well, it has, content in it. Like, it hasn't, it's informational. And so anyway, I woke up in the middle of the night, and I thought, oh my God, do you know what's different between me now? I thought I even look younger now than I did when I recorded that. And, anyway, I started listening to Joe Dispenza again on Lionsgate Portal. And I have been listening to him every night since 8/8, so almost 3 months now. That's the difference. I wasn't listening to it when I recorded the first video. And let me tell you, when you commit to something, I have done Joe Dispenza before. I know it works. And I think there's like a lot of evidence that he's a really powerful tool, for you spiritually. But I tell people all the time about people, and maybe try it, maybe see how you feel about it. It's pretty easy stuff. You just put the video on and listen to it. You can be laying in your bed. That's the best time to do it, is right before you go to sleep. And it's 20-30 minutes. But anyway, it actually, like, I feel like it reverse ages you. It makes you look younger. It changes your appearance. It changes your energy. It changes your posture. It changes your attitude. It changes your aura. It changes everything. If you look at the videos on my book channel of me in July and me 2 days ago, I don't know if I can only see it because it's me, and you guys see me or, come hang out with me every single day. So you may not notice incremental changes as they're occurring. But when you watch something that's like a few months apart, it's very apparent. I even went back and was like looking at pictures and stuff, and I was like, wow, wow. So anyway, it's energetic. It changes you energetically. And so I think it would be an amazing tool for you to be using right now with the energy that you're getting in your readings. You can make the most of it. You can intentionally act with it, right? You don't have to, but you can. And, that can really shift things for you quickly. That can make you, I don't want to put like a time frame on it, but it can, how do I even want to say it? It's like, it's a choice that you're making on a daily basis that confirms on a daily basis your commitment to yourself. Do you see what I'm saying? Which has a really profound effect in and of itself, regardless that is Joe Dispenza. If you don't want to do Joe Dispenza, find somebody else, or, if there's something that you want to do, if you love yoga, or you love meditation, or you love, taking a walk, or you love reading a book, or whatever it is, just commit to that. Any commitment you make to yourself that you keep on a daily basis is going to help. It's going to start to shift things. That's kind of the first decision you make that opens up a whole lot of other things, right? So anyway, I don't know how we got off onto that topic there. But the thing is that it just looks like your past relationships have left you really confused. And also, when you're on the receiving end of the energy of someone treating you like you're an option, or like for you that person is everything, and it feels like you were never that for anyone, or maybe just for them, or however it is for you, whatever it is for you, um that messes with your self-worth, and that messes with your how you feel and see yourself. It messes with your sacral chakra. And as we are, I mean, not your sacral chakra, your solar plexus chakra. Well, it probably messes with your sacral chakra too, but the thing is, you need your energy to be in a state of flow. And when you deal with people who don't know about you, who are confused about whether you're worth it to them, or that's not what it is, but that's oftentimes what it feels like. And what it feels like is what's really important, right? Because that is how we experience something, and how we experience it is physical. It affects our subconscious, it affects us energetically, it affects us every way. So anyway, if you have a series of relationships or connections like this, where it's like, I feel like, I want to be best friends with you, and this person is like, deceives you, backstabs you, talks badly about you, breaks your heart in some way, and then you have an emotional relationship with someone, or like a physical intimate relationship with someone, and they say, oh, I can't commit, I'm just not sure, I just don't know, da 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 da. It starts to feel like a trend. It starts to feel like a pattern. And that's what I feel like with the Six of Cups being clarified this way. It kind of feels like something that you're surviving time and time again. And it does leave you a bit guarded. And when you're guarded, you have interrupted flow. So in order to get your flow back, in order to be able to really, sort of experience something other than this repeating cycle, you got to surrender. You got to surrender those experiences. You got to surrender your feelings about it. You got to let that all sort of go, so that you're not carrying around that narrative. If you carry around the narrative, it doesn't matter how many positive things you do, or how many things that you do to try to change. If you're telling yourself, well, I'm that person that nobody's ever sure about, I'm that person that nobody ever gives to, I'm that person that always does everything for everyone else and is always disappointed by other people, then guess what? That's all you're gonna get. You're just gonna get that on repeat play until you are like, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. And then you're gonna be guarded. And the guarding is okay. It helps you heal, but you don't want to stay there. And so I feel like, you may be shifting. You have the Moon card here. Wow, it's got a lot of clarifying. Man, it's kind of like with the Two of Pentacles and the Page of Wands, there's an energy here of, I really want something, but every time I sort of try to go for it, it makes me feel so imbalanced, or it messes with my, like, do I want this, or am I afraid of this? Like, do I want this, or is this just going to be another disaster? You have the Two of Cups and the Five of Cups in reverse with the Three of Swords here. So, and you have the Four of Cups on the bottom of the deck. This is like, every time I have a relationship and I think it's a good one, or I think maybe there's potential here, or maybe there's a chance, I end up regretting it. Like, that's all I know. That's all I've ever experienced. It leads to suffering. And with the Four of Cups, it's like, maybe what I need to do here is just accept that I'm not meant for what I want. I'm not ever going to get that chance, or, maybe that isn't what is best for me. With the Moon card, the Moon card can represent the stuff that's in our subconscious mind that we're not consciously aware of. When we tell ourselves stuff like that and we think about things in terms like that, we are really coloring the choices and decisions that we make with that energy. So it's going to just be, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, essentially. And in order to change that, it's like you have to do something different. And with the Page of Wands here, it's like you have to go for what you want, kind of. That's how I feel. It's like you lean into the fear, or you lean into you're kind of afraid, but you do it anyway. And you don't just do it, you do it with the belief that you're going to experience something different. You do it like you've never been hurt before. You do it like I acknowledge my fear, but I am not, I have healed my suffering to a place where I can make this choice. Like I have the capacity to choose to go on this adventure if no, I do. I can say I can make this choice. Like I'm not still so wounded or so vulnerable or so upset that I can't, that I just can't do it. I can do it. And so it may mean that I'm going to have to face my fear, but if this is what I want, which it is, then that's what it's going to take. With the moon card, it is also divine feminine energy, and it is giving me this vibe of like, you know how the moon sort of dictates the tides? Well, it doesn't sort of dictate the tides, it does, right? There's a pull, you know, there's like a pull of the wave to the shore, kind of an energy based on like what kind of percent we see of the moon, like what is revealed of the moon. And so it's kind of giving me this vibe of like at different times I feel more pulled to make this choice than other times, but I have a commitment to interact with this space. Like the moon always shows up for the ocean, even when you can't see it at all, it is still there, right? And so the ocean, that it maintains its effect on the ocean. It just is stronger sometimes and not so strong sometimes. So it's like, it's okay to sort of like sometimes be more driving toward it, and other times to be okay sort of chilling, you know, just like, yeah, I'm kind of moving in that general direction, or I still want that, or I'm still, you know, making choices that support that, but like maybe I'm less actively pursuing it, or it's like it's okay, but it's sort of like about maintaining like a part of me wants to say future focus, a part of me wants to say hope and optimism. It's like being committed to the underlying thing and sort of taking it as it comes, like the ebb and the flow. It's not always going to be turned all the way up on the volume. But as long as you continue to stay interacting with that space and can stay, you know, sort of open to it or receptive to it, and, you know, continue to kind of allow your subconscious thoughts to kind of surface and you release them, you know, so that they're not still kind of blocking the progress, you're making progress. Like it's happening. You're calling it to you. You're attracting it to you. It will eventually be reflected in your life. It's going to change. You're not going to stay in the Four of Cups forever. It just hasn't been revealed to you yet. And yeah, like, see, the Two of Cups. Wow. So, you have the Queen of Pentacles and the Four of Wands kind of dancing over this Two of Cups. You know, that this is an energy of really like knowing your worth, knowing your value, and manifesting. You know, the Four of Wands is where we see things actually materialize. And so sometimes like you do have to stay the course. You do have to be, you know, dedicated to the prospect that it's happening, and you have to be, you know, actively kind of working on it, you know, and investing in it. You know, Joe Dispenza said once, that like in a video one time, abundance used to be for me, this idea of, oh yeah, well, I'm sitting on a yacht or whatever. And he was like, now the idea of abundance for me is that I just have so freaking much that I can give it away and not even feel it. And he was like, isn't that what abundance is? I have so much that I can give it away. I can do good things with it without even feeling it. Whatever it is. I have so much love. I have so much this. I have so much money. I have so much love. I have so much happiness. I have so much, you know, that I can just, I am a spring, a wellspring of it. I am abundant, you know, and I have so much of it that I can just give it away. I can just put it out there. I can give it to other people. I can share it. I can spread it around. And that's how I feel with this Queen of Pentacles and this Four of Wands kind of dancing together with the Two of Cups. It is this energy of, yeah, I have so much and I'm feeling so secure about it that I can sit in this space of this relationship with the Two of Cups, whatever relationship space it is. You know, I do think for most of you it is, you know, an intimate relationship. But it could be friendship, it could be business, you know, however it relates to you, whatever you're looking for, whatever you're here for. And with the Seven of Pentacles and the Eight of Cups in reverse, really and truly, this energy is about walking away. When you walk away from the things that are not like contributing to your contentment in life, and well, when you do that, you have more energy and more of yourself to focus on what you are trying to grow, what you do want more of with the Seven of Pentacles. And you can I'm just getting like trust easier that it is going to show up. Like you have space for it. You are high vibrational because you're not dealing with stuff that's draining you. You're, you know, I could go on and on and on about this energy, but essentially it's just this, you know, this feeling of I'm making space for what I'm inviting into my life. I'm making space for the next chapter now, basically. With the High Priestess, it's like, and this is like, and I know it's going to show up. I feel that it is. I know that it will. I have a deep inner knowing that it will. Then you have the Nine of Pentacles. Wow. Wow. You have the Nine of Pentacles being clarified by the Devil in reverse, the Hangman in reverse, and the Page of Cups upright. For me, this energy, you know, we started off with the Devil and the Hangman is you. And, you know, the Page of Cups for me is like our most authentic self, our truest of the true. When you take all of your masks away, when you are just you with you, that's the Page of Cups. And that's an incredibly powerful place, the Page of Cups. Which I find ironic because the pages in tarot are not supposed to be powerful, but I've meditated on this energy, and every single time I get the same thing. It's our most authentic self. The thing is, you got the Devil in reverse with the Hangman in reverse, which is saying, okay, that there were lower vibrational tendencies that were keeping you stuck, right? That were, at one point, they had a hold on you. And with the Hangman in reverse, this is like, okay, I took the time I needed. I made the sacrifice. I said, okay, I'm going to look at it. I'm going to deal with it. I'm going to figure it out, and I'm going to let it go. And with the Hangman in reverse, and this is all clarifying the Nine of Pentacles, which is kind of like, you made it, you know, like you're there right now. And this is like current energy. So this is what is definitely happening in this time frame right here. You know, you've kind of tamed the beast. You've kind of overcome the thing that it has held you back, or has, you know, been the major key component of the experiences that you have had that have not satisfied you, that have not reflected what you deserve and what you want. You know, this is it. It's done. It's over. You learned from it. You got enlightened from it. You're seeing it very clearly. You have the Ace of Swords twice in this reading. So the Hangman is, you know, hey, I hang here, I try to get a new perspective until it makes sense to me, until I have enlightenment, until, you know, it's a very clear thing to me. And we see that is happening here, or it has happened. It's a key, you know, cleaning up the thoughts is the key component of this reading. And it feels like you have really done that. And as you've done that, you know, you no longer need to make the sacrifice. You no longer need to kind of like be by yourself, or, you know, continue to try to reflect on the past, or continue to try to, you know, look at it or make sense of it or understand it, or even really let it have kind of any say in the present moment for you at all. It's kind of completely irrelevant. You are not that person anymore. And it doesn't resonate with you anymore. And the lower vibrational tendencies you had that may have led to your experience are gone. You dropped them off. You let them go. You surrendered them and you released them, and now they're not there anymore. So, you know, there's no need to continue to reflect on it. There's no need to continue to talk about it. There's no need to continue to think of yourself in terms of someone that once had that experience, because it just doesn't matter anymore. It's not part of your current experience or where you are going. Now, all of that, I think, all of those experiences basically led you to uncovering your most authentic self within yourself, if I'm being totally honest with you. I feel like, you know, you probably had to wear a lot of masks, and you probably weren't, maybe you even thought you were being yourself, or you felt like you could be yourself. But there's an insecurity or an instability. You know, we saw that Two of Pentacles energy, and the fear of suffering again, and, you know, kind of cutting ourselves off from the flow of the universe to, you know, protect ourselves kind of energy has shown up. And sometimes when that happens, it is an opportunity to spend time by ourselves and to get to know ourselves. And when we are by ourselves, we have a tendency, you know, the Japanese say we wear 3 masks, you know, the one that we wear in the general public, the one we wear with friends and intimate partners, and then the one we wear with ourselves. And what is the one with ourselves? It's closest to our most authentic self. But even with ourselves, a lot of times we wear a mask. You know, we don't always tell ourselves the truth. And we had that 5 of Swords in the very beginning, that mental manipulation, that sort of defeat, that sort of, you know, oh, you know, maybe it's just not meant for me or whatever. All of those thoughts, you know, that's not your authentic self. Your authentic self knows it's worthy. It's inherent. You know, it's divine. You are divine. You are remarkable. You are limitless. You are amazing. You can do anything you want. And it isn't about what the universe gives you or doesn't. It's how you alchemize this opportunity. And now you're alchemizing it in a wise way. We saw that magician. Now you are a conduit for what you want. Now you're calling the 8 ball in the corner pocket and you're sinking it. You know, you're not the same person anymore. You're not whiffing or whatever they call it, scratching on the 8 ball, you know, like you're sinking it, man. And you're doing it in a way that is just super freaking authentic. Like, you know who you are. You're not covering things up. You're fine with who you are. And when you're fine with who you are unfuckwithable. You're not going to deal with somebody like that. You're just not going to. It's not going to resonate with an authentic self. This resonates with wounding and insecurity that tells us that we deserve that. You have the 8 of Pentacles. Wow. And it's being clarified with the Queen of Wands, the 7 of Wands. That's so funny. I almost said the Ace of Wands. And the Fool card. And this is a great energy. You know, you're mastering yourself. You're figuring yourself out. It's that feeling where, you know you're about to react. Like, oh, this feeling is the indicator that I might react here, or I might say something that I regret, or I might do something I regret, or something that's not really in alignment with who I am anymore. It's my old way of being, my old way of reacting. But I got the signal, and I'm not going to let myself go down that path. You know, I'm standing my ground. I'm having, this is kind of like, you know, protecting your own energy. And with the Queen of Wands, it's like, I know what I want, and I trust that it is going to come to me. I trust that I am attracting it to me. I trust that, you know, if I stay here and I don't give in and I fight my lower vibrational tendencies and I protect my energy from, you know, people who don't, you know, aren't in resonation with me, and I keep myself in this good, positive space, then things are going to work out for me. I'm going to end up with the opportunity that I'm looking for to kind of take that leap of faith. In its own way, this energy is actually taking a leap of faith. It's saying, you know, I've mastered myself. It's now or never. I'm going for it. You know, I feel in large and in charge, and I understand that it is about being open to receive what I want, but it's also about holding boundaries so that, you know, not everyone can really get close to me. It's protecting my energy. Then you have the King of Cups, which I feel like is a new romantic interest. Yeah, it's somebody. Oh my God, you guys, the Ace of Wands is on the bottom of the deck. I literally just said the Ace of Wands right here. I just can feel it. This is someone who knows what they want, and they are emotionally available. They are able to process their own emotions. They're showing up in a mature fashion. With the Knight of Pentacles and the 8 of Pentacles, this is someone who's willing to do the work on themselves and has done the work on themselves the same way you have. And with the Knight of Pentacles, it's like they may be slow moving, but they are the type of person that is reliable and that is going to cross the finish line. They're not in a rush, because, you know, when you are in this energy, this kind of really wise and mature energy, you know, you have time. You know, there isn't a reason to rush. With the Ace of Wands, like, this is what you've been asking for. This is what you've been manifesting, and here it is in your hot little hand. And look, there are people around you that regret how they treated you. There are people from your past that are like, oh damn, I had a chance at that. I had a chance at that kind of happiness. Look at that. They didn't give to you the way that they should. They want another chance at this happiness. Some of you may even have past people coming back, but I honestly think you're just way too happy to deal with them. I think you see things way too clearly. The Sun and the Ace of Swords. And you've healed and you're just too fucking happy to deal with that. This is a very low vibrational energy. It's like they may want another chance, and you're not giving them one because they didn't show up when they had the chance. They didn't give to the thing when they had the chance. There's regret. They have big time regret, and you've got a real person who's solid and stable to occupy that space. You have, by the way, in your center column, you have the Star, the Two of Cups, and the King of Cups, like Pisces. It's pretty amazing energy. If you're dealing with a water sign, I thought about reaching out, but I don't know what to say. You are the one. I'm sending you telepathic messages, and be patient with me, please. If you are dealing with a fire sign, it's hard for me to explain things. I want a future with you. No one else matters now. I can't walk away. Guys, I'm telling you, I can just feel, oh, you have a flipper too. I don't care what people think anymore. You have people from your past that are going to watch you move on and are sitting in a space of regret, wishing that they could have another chance, and you're not giving it to them. And they know it. They know you're not going to give it to them. If you're dealing with an earth sign, you hit me out of nowhere. Our eye contact is insane. Sorry, could be intense too. I miss you more than you know, and annoyed. Okay, if you're dealing with an air sign, what we have is soul recognition. I'm trying to figure things out. You were so unexpected, guarded, and I am overcoming my fears. Pisces, this is what I have for you. I really hope it helps. I hope it brings you some peace and clarity. If it does, let me know. Like, share, subscribe, comment. I really do appreciate all of it. And I just appreciate you for being here. Thank you. All right, until next time, I send you off with all my very best. Always, always, always. Bye-bye.